He didn't just want power above all living beings. He wanted absolute fame and worship from the world. I stood at the reserve passage below the city wall, watching it all coldly. That fake act made me physically sick. Just as I was about to take the lift up to the wall, a figure in the corner caught my eye. It was a fat guy. He wore a cheap, ill-fitting combat suit covered in mud, pushing forward with both hands. A weak yellow energy wave was forming in his palms. He was panting hard as he blasted it at a one-horned black wolf climbing onto the wall. Wang Fatty! My eyes sharpened. He grew up with me in the orphanage, and he was my only real brother in this world. During today's ceremony, he awakened the S-rank star spirit, Krillin the Earthling. His damage wasn't high. When his energy wave hit the black wolf, it could barely push it back. But he still fought with everything he had, guarding a gap in the defense without taking even half a step back. Just then, Zhao Qiang caught sight of Fatty from the corner of his eye. "Senior, look who that is." Zhao Qiang's eyes shifted. He leaned close to Ling Shui and sneered in a low voice. "That's Su Yu's loser friend. An F-rank piece of trash actually dares to stand here and get in the way. What bad luck." Ling Shui followed Zhao Qiang's gaze and glanced at Fatty. A flash of undisguised disgust crossed her eyes. Seeing him reminded her of me, and of how her godlike dignity had been offended in the Awakening Square. Frank trash, what an eyesore. Ling Shui said it flatly, then turned away as if nothing had happened. But Zhao Qiang instantly understood. He gave a vicious grin and strode toward Fatty. At that moment, Fatty was fully focused on dealing with that black wolf. "Die!" Fatty roared, then slammed the energy wave he had been charging for ages right onto the black wolf's head, finally blasting it off the wall. Drained, he leaned against the railing at the edge of the wall, gasping for air. Before he could even catch his breath, a massive force suddenly struck him from behind. "Oops, sorry about that, fatso. My foot slipped." Zhao Qiang pretended to be pushing back a monster, but his shoulder carried the terrifying force of an S-rank strength-type awakened fighter as it slammed hard into Fatty's back. For an F-rank like Fatty, that hit was no different from getting run over by a speeding heavy truck. Pfft. Fatty spat out a mouthful of blood. His body instantly lost balance, and he flew straight over the waist-high railing, falling toward the bottomless black tide below, packed with countless vicious monsters. "Help! Help me!" Fatty waved his arms desperately in midair. His shrill scream tore through the night. The soldiers on the wall cried out, but it all happened too fast. There was no time to save him. Zhao Qiang stood on the wall, looking down at the falling Fatty with a cruel smirk. Ling Shui hovered nearby and didn't even turn her head. To her, it was like some worthless fly had died. "It's over." Fatty looked at the monsters below, their bloody mouths wide open, fangs packed together like a forest, and closed his eyes in despair. I stood at the passage entrance and saw everything with my own eyes. I saw Fatty coughing blood as he fell. I saw Zhao Qiang's cruel grin. I saw Ling Shui's cold back. A rage I had never felt before, one that nearly tore my chest apart, exploded completely in that instant. "You're dead." The string called reason in my mind snapped with a boom. 10 times, Kaioken. Boom! At the far end of the sky, a terrifying sonic boom erupted like thunder. Everyone on the battlefield froze in that instant. Ling Xiak suddenly turned her head, her pupils shrinking sharply. A pillar of light wrapped in raging dark red aura shot up from the reserve passage below the wall at a terrifying speed, tearing through space and ignoring the laws of physics. The reinforced alloy door of the passage was crushed into scrap metal by the recoil of my jump. My whole body turned into a meteor burning with blood-red flames, drawing a blinding red arc through the air as I smashed straight toward the center of the beast tide outside the wall, right where Fatty was about to land. "What the hell is that?" Someone on the wall screamed in terror. Under everyone's stunned gaze, that blood-red meteor hit the beast horde beneath Fatty with perfect accuracy. Boom! It was like a massive meteor slamming head-on into Earth. A violent shockwave, mixed with dark red energy, swept outward in a wild ring. Within 50 meters, hundreds of low-level monsters didn't even have time to scream. Under that pure, terrifying physical force, they instantly exploded into a mist of blood. The ground shook, and dust shot into the sky. When the violent wind cleared the smoke, a huge crater appeared in the middle of the dense beast tide. I held the unconscious Fatty in one hand, and slowly stood up from the crater. My white shirt snapped loudly in the wind, and a nearly solid dark red aura wrapped around me. Within 50 meters, not a single monster was left alive. Only chunks of flesh and blood flowing like a river. I slowly raised my head. Across the 50-meter height difference, my bloodshot eyes, burning with extreme fury, locked hard onto Zhao Qiang and Ling Shui on top of the wall. Who did it? My cold voice didn't use any amplifier, yet it drowned out all the gunfire and roars on the battlefield. Like a death sentence from the Grim Reaper, it reached every single person on the wall clearly. On the wall, dead silence lasted for 3 full seconds. Everyone stared at the figure below, burning with dark red aura, their eyes filled with disbelief and shock. "That's Su Yu? The Campus Beauty Ling's loser fiancé? Are you kidding me?"